Hey, everybody. Welcome to another DMVCBN Comic Book Club. I'm your host, Freddy, coming to you live from Washington, D.C. And today is January 4th, 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. This new year is coming in hot. And, we got a lot to talk about. Today, we're going to discuss some of our favorite things from 2024 and some of the things we're looking forward to in 2025. I've got a very special guest I'd like to introduce. Let's say hello to Megan from Vigilante Vibes Podcast. How you doing, Megan?
Good. Thank you for having me. I've been a big fan of yours for a while.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm a big fan of yours also. And I'm very excited to have you on the show today. You have the special honor of being my 50th subscriber on YouTube.
Oh, oh
And
wow.
thank you so much for helping me hit that milestone. And thanks to everyone else who subscribed and following along and participating. You guys are the best, and I really appreciate all your help to get me this far. This is like the I want to say this is like the I want to say second anniversary of the MVCBN. Is it second or third? I don't know. I can't keep track of this, but it's been growing and growing. So this has been we're in a new year. Can't believe we're here, but yeah. How's the new year treating you so far?
I think it's only the fourth, but so far I've stubbed the same toe 3 times, so it's not looking well.
Oh
But
no.
maybe it'll get better. Who knows?
Yeah,
This
it's only a couple.
this is a positive for me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about your podcast?
Yeah, I am a huge Marvel fan, really have been a lifelong Marvel fan. So my podcast is primarily a Marvel podcast without the toxicity, like the racism, the homophobia, sexism, all of that. None of that has any place on my podcast. But it's not just Marvel because I have people on my podcast that are from all different walks of fandoms. So I'm learning as I go about other fandoms. Like I'm taking a deep dive into DC right now and I'm loving it. So it's just meant to be a safe space where fans can like what they like, dislike what they dislike without the word woke being thrown around or anything like that.
I love that. Especially in this YouTube environment where
Yeah.
sometimes the stuff we see on the main page is going to be very toxic, and I feel kind of lucky to have found this community of people where we're kind of like minded. We're against racism, like you said, we're against sexism and all these negative things that don't really need to be in comics or in society in general. But let's just all have fun, celebrate each other, read, watch TV, so.
I agree.
So you said you're a big Marvel fan. I love your Marvel shirt here, repping
Oh, thank
the
you.
Marvel here. I've got my Falcon Winter Soldier shirt. I probably need to get a new one because I want to have a Captain Sam Wilson for
I
the Brave New World movie
Yeah, I've been like looking at your shirt and I was like, damn, I want that. But
coming
also,
up.
yes, I really want a Sam Wilson shirt. And I know it's going to take forever for merch to hit stores because that's how life is. But I want to wear one to the premiere. I'm so excited for Sam
Yeah,
Wilson, for him to get his time.
yes, absolutely. I think I've seen a few maybe some fan made shirts going around the internet, so I'll have to look
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, so I mean, fan made shirts are sometimes the best ones, but it's like, oh man, but I'm broke.
Right. Yes. Speaking of that, I want to. Oh, we got another friend joining us. Let me bring in Claude.
Ooh. Oh, there he is.
Hey, Claude,
Oh,
you made it.
I did make it. Have to. I might disappear off the camera if a child is acting up.
No worries. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. How's it going
I'm
so
glad to
far?
have you here. Have you ever met Megan before, on virtually?
No, this is our first
Yeah,
time.
yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Great.
So glad to have you both on today. So, Claude is a returning guest of this comic book club. Do you quickly want to tell our listeners about yourself if they're brand new?
Yeah, definitely. I'm Claude, aka Curly Insane Guy underscore. Usually just on the internet talking about superhero stuff. I also play and run superhero TTRPGs on Twitch, and yeah, so you'll see me post about that stuff too. But it's all under the same kind of nerd umbrella. And yeah, just hopping on here to chat with some cool people about comics.
Awesome. And if you guys don't mind sharing your general location, I'm from DC, as most people know. But can you remind everyone where you're from?
Yeah, this is always fun. So I'm from the other Washington, so Washington State, just outside of Seattle.
Yeah, and Megan, if you don't mind.
Ah, you're from where Twilight was from.
Pretty
I
close
j-
to.
I just binged that whole all those movies, so that's kind of rent free. I'm from Virginia, so
Nice.
sucks.
DMV.
Yeah, that's actually why I reached out to you to begin with. I was like, oh my God, I'm from DMV too. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. No, I love bringing in people from the DMV area and even people from the other Washington and all across, the world. Like this has been a pretty exciting place to kind of meet people from everywhere. I want to remind everyone this comic book club is open to everyone, no matter where you're from. But special shout out to my DMV folks. All right, so we were just talking about things we're gonna look fondly on from 2024 and things we're looking forward to in 2025. I was going to mention that one thing I love about your podcast, Megan, is that you are really good at staying on top of like what's hot in pop culture. Like, I feel like I need to get better at that. Like, I've kind of fallen off. Like, I still haven't seen Craven. I still like I haven't seen Creature Commandos yet. Like, I don't know, but tell us.
What?
I know you've been seeing those shows, so tell us your thoughts so far.
On Craven, I liked it more than I thought I would. It's not as bad as Madam Web, and I really like Aaron Taylor Johnson as Craven, but not in that movie. So yes,
Sounds fair.
yeah, Creature Commandos. I had no knowledge of any of these characters before I went into it because I wasn't really raised a DC fan aside from Superman. So I'm, like I said before, I'm doing a deep dive on it now, and I'm obsessed. I think Creature Commandos is, if anyone had any doubts in James Gunn and what he's going to bring to DC, I think Creature Commandos should put all that anxiety to rest because he's doing what he does and making us sympathize with characters that you just shouldn't sympathize for, with like a Nazi killing zombie, no, a Nazi killing robot that's whole goal in life is to kill Nazis and that's all he talks about, and somehow it almost made me cry in one of the episodes. No spoilers. It's the James Gunn way, but I think he's going to bring something huge to DC, and I think people need to calm down before judging what he does.
All right, very cool. All right, so guys, so what I want to do today, let's take turns discussing a few of our favorite comics related things from 2024. It could be a comic book, it could be a show, it could be a movie. All right. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. Um, if it came out in 24, great. If it didn't come out in 24, but you just experienced it in 2024, that's cool too. We're just gonna share some of the things we really enjoy. I'll go first so that you guys can think about it in case you're not quite ready. But I'm gonna say one thing I really enjoyed in 2024 was, of course, the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Like that was huge. I guess the only MCU proper movie we got last year, and they brought back Hugh Jackman. They brought Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and on top of that, they were bringing in so many Fox favorites and even less favorites, and just being funny and being full of action. And like we did a couple of reviews on that, so you can check out our YouTubes and stuff to see more of our thoughts on that. But yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights for me. All right, who would like? Let's let Megan go next. Do you have a favorite thing?
Um, Probably X-Men 97.
Oh
I'm a
yes,
Yeah, I'm a huge X-Men fan. I think that's what started me on comics was X-Men, and it was such a perfect continuation, but in its own show in its own right. We got comic accurate characters. We got stories from the comics. We saw so much passion put into it, and I got to interview some of the voice actors, and they I think they really do have a clause when they hire these voice actors for Marvel that they have to be the nicest people in the entire world, because I don't think we deserve any of them.
Mm. Yeah, that's so cool. Like, yeah, I have to deal you on that as well because like love X-Men, loved X-Men 97. Again, you can see our reviews for that on our channel. And yeah, like that was definitely a highlight of 2020. Like, who knew we were going to get a reboot of the original 90s series? Like we once we knew it was like just nothing but anticipation, but for like decades, we would have thought that was like the past, you know?
Hmm.
This is really unprecedented, I think, for an animated show from the early 90s to come back like this.
Yeah, I agree. And even the voice actors didn't know it was a continuation from X-Men. They didn't even know it was X-Men until they got the role. And they're like, oh, it's X-Men. And they're like, X-Men what? And then they found out and they're like, oh my God. So I think that's all how we all kind of were feeling.
Yeah, and the fact that they brought back so much of the original cast is great. Like, unfortunately, there were some members who have passed on that they couldn't bring back. Maybe a couple that they had to recast, but overall, they did a very strong effort, like capturing like the essence of the original and bringing back the cast and some of the creatives. And I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. I mean, we know there was a bit of drama as far as changing over showrunners, but that happens a lot. Doesn't necessarily mean that the show will lose quality.
I think
Fingers
just
crossed.
let let's all watch the show before we assume, because yeah, he was very talented, but he also seems extremely toxic. So if it's better for the cast and crew, then why don't we just give it a minute? Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, like I'm definitely hopeful that we can move forward and keep making some great shows.
Yeah.
All right, Claude, your turn. Do you have anything for 2024 you'd like to share?
Honestly, like X-Men 97 is definitely a huge highlight on that. Just a big year for the X-Men in general with From the Ashes and everything. Like it was
Hmm.
a lot going on in that space. For me, I guess it's not necessarily like as big an event type thing, but it's definitely a series that has been very popular all year. For me, Karen Gillan's The Power Fantasy was like
Yeah.
a big highlight for the
Yes.
year. It so I went to Emerald City Comic Con this year, and that was where they announced the series. I didn't make it to that panel, but so I heard about it there, and I was like, okay, cool. And I saw previews and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, the art looks great. The art is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, just some of my favorite stuff in comics right now is also the fact that a lot of creators are really like getting into explaining their process and everything, and those essays at the back of Power Fantasy, like he does it in other series too. It's just so good. Like it gets you really excited for the direction of comics in general. I think is great. So
I
that's
agree
like the big
entirely.
standout series for me. And then a lot of DC hype this year with
Yeah.
like All In and everything. They're doing some really exciting stuff over there. So I'm happy to see that like it's one of those the a rising tide raises all boats. Like the if they start doing really well and people want to compete with that, then we're gonna get quality all around. And I'm ready to see that in 2025.
I gotta say, I'm excited that the DC All In stuff is not necessarily like a reboot. Like so often DC like reboots their entire universe. Um, I mean, there is a little bit of a reboot with like the absolute stuff, but it's more like additional rather than like taking away something. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited more and more about the absolute stuff. Like I've read the first issue of each of the new absolute titles, and so I definitely am excited to keep reading. And and I'm reading a lot of the all in titles like and so yeah, that's another highlight of 2024. I got to give that one to you for sure. Um, let's see. I guess I kind of used up my turn talking about that. So Megan, would you like to share another favorite from 2024?
Well, speaking on the DC Absolute I read Absolute Wonder Woman, and it felt like a DC What If. So I wouldn't say it was like a reboot, but all of it's been fantastic. So I'm really excited to see where DC goes with all of this. The power fantasy, I'm really glad you brought up because I feel like it's so criminally underrated. It's such a hard hitter, and Kieran Gillen is killing it. So I'm so excited to see what's next for that. Um, what was your question? I'm so sorry.
Did you have? Well, you could just talk for a minute about anything else you liked in 2024.
I thought it was a pretty big year for progress for all of these. Like we said, like there's been a lot of hype for DC. DC, the DCU went through a pretty hard time, DCEU, with Snyder and all that. And now it feels like there's something happening that we're actually going to get what we want. And it's like Claude said, if they're doing amazing and someone wants to compete with that, the only people that win in that situation are the fans. So far, we're winning. I mean, let's be honest, the when the Superman trailer dropped, I had never seen in such a long time so much just content in the fandoms. Like, finally, we're getting something good that feels like there's passion put into it. And it's not a bunch of people saying, this is woke, this sucks, this is trash. I'm just really excited all around.
Yeah, like that Superman trailer, I think was one of the top 10 highest viewed trailers
Yeah.
in history. I don't have those exact numbers on me, but yeah, it was amazing. Like they definitely rode the heck out of it. They had a countdown timer. Like I was there for it.
Yeah. It was a teaser trailer too. It wasn't even a full one. Like imagine when that drops.
Yeah, like we'll definitely have more to say about that when we get to the 2025 section of this. But I want to see if Claude, do you have anything else in 2024 you want to share about?
It's so difficult to think of again what came out in 2024, but yeah, I think it's been like a phenomenal year as far as comic releases go. Again, yeah, the Superman trailer, it was one of the first things I did was not look a lot at comment sections on like Instagram or YouTube because as you all know, Instagram comment sections are really rough sometimes with like the nitpicking and everything, especially like in response to anything Marvel I see posted from the official Marvel account is like the worst comment section you've ever seen. So staying away from that and then just looking at like fans that I know individually reacting to Superman and just the excitement and hype and hope, which is great and super on theme, but also like we need that right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's been a lot of community building, at least personally for me. I've met a lot more people in the space in 2024, so that's something that I really love about it, and of trying to carry forward and just trying to connect with as many people and get differing perspectives. Yeah, I think it's a great time to get to know other people in the space.
Absolutely. All right, good stuff. There's is that croissant or
That one's bagel.
bagel?
Bagel's up
Okay.
there.
Wait.
I've got bagel and croissant. And very nearly had toast, but which is Bagel's brother at the shelter, and someone else got him. But
Oh
those
my
were the
god,
cats.
that's the
It's
funniest
good to have
thing
a
of.
little cat cameo. I love it.
Oh my god, all your cat is named after bread. That's so funny. Fuck. I love cats. That made my day.
Yeah, this is a cat-friendly podcast here for sure. Um, all right, so I do want to just share a little my top 10 list I made of comics that I enjoyed in 2024. Um, I'll throw that up on the screen. All
Ooh.
right. So hopefully you guys can all see that. Um, I'll go backwards from 10 to 1. All right. So count down, just like no New Year's. So number 10, I really liked the Deadpool Wolverine World War III comic book. It was a 3-issue miniseries. Um, uh, I will say all this stuff we already talked about on the CBN Comic Book Club, so I won't spend too much time going on and on. But yeah, this was a surprise because what could have been just like a cheap tie-in comic turned out to be, it had heart. It had great art. Like it was innovative to me. I thought it was like doing something it was reaching above what it could have done, and it was like very new reader friendly at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. Absolute Power. That was the coming in at number 9. That was the book that we did our last DMV Comic Book Club on, and that one was like a great discussion. Like I went back and listened to it yesterday. I really had a good time talking with Claude and Travell about that one. You can go check that out if you're interested. Captain America. Now I realized this issue didn't come out until 2020. It came out in 2023, but I read it in 2024 around like the 4th of July. And this series, it's still coming out. I feel like it's very underrated. Like I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but you got J. Michael Straczynski and some great artists working on it, and like he's telling a very powerful tale about who Steve Rogers is and why he fights and the enemies he fights. He fights fascists, he fights Nazis. Like he is not afraid to stand up. And like we need to be like Captain America as we go into this new year. Number 7, Avengers Twilight. This has been on a lot of people's lists for 2024. It was a great miniseries. Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Acuna, they did some great work. Highly recommend it if you haven't read that yet. Number 6, X-Men Unlimited Infinity Comics that came out in 2024. Basically, that was like from issue 120 to 142. These were all digital only releases, but I had to include it on my list because it was a huge deal to me. It was like these stories were highlighting all of the X-Men who don't get a lot of attention, a lot of queer X-Men, a lot of X-Men of color, like a lot of them who've been pushed to the background. So you had indigenous X-Men, like you had Warpath and you had Thunderbird and you had Danny Moonstar and like so many different characters who I really loved seeing them at the forefront. And I was very sad when it ended. So that was number 6. Number 5, we talked about The Power of Fantasy. Great book. Looking forward to continuing reading the story there. Number 4, Storm from the Ashes. Like Storm has not had a lot of ongoing books, so like this was a huge deal in 2024 for her to get her own ongoing again. And got Murewa Ayodele and Lucas Wernick working together to tell some very intriguing storylines. Number 3, The Ultimates. Now, this has been very popular on a lot of people's lists for good reason. Like, you've got Denise Camp. Is that his name? I think that's his name, the writer.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
And you've got Juan Frigeri doing a lot of the art, and Phil Noto stepped in for a great issue or two. So like every issue has been pretty like it's been getting better and better in my opinion. Like I'm very excited to see where this goes. Although I have been I'm not up to date with it. I got a few more issues to catch up on because I don't know. I won't talk too much. Let's go 2 more. We got number 2, Black Panther, Blood Hunt.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the Blood Hunt event altogether, but the part that stood out to me the most was this Black Panther miniseries. It was 3 issues. Cheryl Lynn Eaton and Fareed Karami, like they were so good. They made me want them to just do a Black Panther ongoing. There's been a lot of people saying that. Why we don't have that yet is beyond me. But Marvel, if you're listening, get on it. We want it. And coming in at number 1, Resurrection of Magneto by Al Ewing and Luciano Vecchio. And you got some covers by, I know his name, but I can't think of it right now. Stefano Caselli, that's right. So, if you haven't read this book, I want to encourage you to read it. I know it's kind of not easy jumping in point because it's like the end of the Krakoa era, but you could jump into it. All you need to know is that Magneto is dead. and Storm wants to go save him, bring him back to life. And this story, like it really, it shook the whole comics industry for me. Like I was like, wow, like I didn't expect uh it to do what it did. Like everyone knows the X-Men resurrect all the time in various
Yeah.
ways. But this one did something new, and it did something that felt deeply spiritual and like connected to like there's use of tarot, and it was just kind of interesting. So like, it really said a lot about the characters themselves. Like the character work was top 10. Like, oh my god, I could gush on and on about it. But yeah, these are my top 10 books for 2024. And yeah, if you haven't read those, go check them out.
I agree about number one. Even if you don't like the story, Luciano Vecchio is an absolute genius with what he
Yeah,
does art wise with the X-Men. So either way, you're gonna be super pleased.
yeah, his artwork. He's only been getting better and better as an
Yeah.
artist. Like he was already good, but like he stuns me. Like last year, he did a lot of stunning work. Like he did some great character collages. Like
Yeah.
uh, to me, I was like, this is like George Perez level. Like because George Perez was great at like including like hundreds of characters in one large splash and giving them lots of detail. And now Luciano Vecchio is carrying on that legacy for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a super nice guy. He is a huge X-Men fan. His main goal is to spread LGBTQ positivity in the fandom. So
yeah,
X-Men has always been a big thing for him.
love it. Like him and Russell Dodderman
Yeah.
and Lucas Werdick. Like there's a lot of like great artists in the X-Men world, Pepe Larraz, but also like that's just in X-Men, like in Marvel broader and DC. Like there's so many great artists right now. Like I we're spoiled. Everything's so good. Like Dan Moore was killing it over at DC, and so is Jorge Jimenez, and like lots of great artists. I can't even name them all.
Great to see Ewing at the first spot too, because I love his character work in general. Like, yeah, I still am really salty that we don't have like a Nova ongoing from him. I keep saying I'm so glad that we finally got a Nova book. It's just unfortunate that it's going to be called Absolute Green Lantern. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, like
he's one of my
like
favorite in the business right now.
yeah, he's really good, and like he's definitely doing a lot more books over at DC right now. He's got a Metamorpho book for All In, I think that just came out. Like you said, he's got a Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern coming out. Like I probably wasn't going to read those books, but now that I know he's on them, I probably will. So we shall see.
That's how I am with Absolute Flash because it's going to be Jeff Lemire, and I'm like I can't
And Nick
get away
Robles,
from the
like
Jeff
the
Lemire.
Nick
Yeah.
Robles art that's been leaked, that he showed so far, it looks really cool. The character designs and all that. All right, any final thoughts about 2024 and things? Oh, I do want to mention Batman Kid Crusader. I mean, we already did a podcast about it, but can't fail to mention how that was another cool comeback in 2024.
I have not finished watching that one, unfortunately. Finding time is rough
Yeah.
sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah,
I like what I've seen so far, and I want to finish that and finish developing my thoughts on it. But it's a really cool idea. I think it's being executed really well.
I mean,
I'll see.
and also Agatha all along, Penguin.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so many great things about 2024.
It felt like a lot
Uh,
of experimenting this year. They tried a lot of different things that are outside of the norm of the usual formulas they use. And I think most of them knocked it out of the park. Like Agatha All Along, a female-led show that's predominantly gay, and it killed.
It
yep,
So
and
I
they're
think,
like
crushed. It was amazing.
over 30, 40. Like like usually people talk about how Hollywood is not very kind to actresses over the age of 30. So like to see them in leading roles and see them kill it and be hilarious and emotional and talented and just funny. Like it was so good. Like I
Agreed.
love Catherine Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, Shashir Zameda. Oh, Patty Lupone. Don't even get me started. Like I'm a big musical theater nerd. That's my other passion. um, Ali on like the whole cast. Uh, I'm blanking. Joe Locke. Like everybody. Everyone did a great job.
I agree. Claude.
All right. Any other
I mean,
last
honestly, just
mentions?
echoing the same stuff.
Yeah.
I think there were a lot of awesome indie books, a lot of which I unfortunately did not get to keep up with as much as I wanted to towards the end of the year there. But shout out to the Tin Can Society, which had a killer first issue, and I have heard that the following ones were good too. I need to finish that one. So, and then Paranoid Gardens at Dark Horse was really cool, and I believe finished. I have to go catch up with that one. There's a lot of exciting stuff if you go looking for it, and hopefully as different properties kind of take off, just bringing more attention to the comic space so that the weird offshoot books can also be part of the conversation
Absolutely.
is
Shout out
really
to
good
the
for everyone.
indies. Yes. Um, I also want to shout out Echo. Didn't that come out last year, like early in like
Yeah.
January? Like
That
Echo
last
was amazing. Like I was really impressed by that, and just not only was the main actress so good, but like the whole cast, like the fact that we have new stories um, featuring Indigenous Americans, like I don't want us to take that for granted. Like there's like they've been so underrepresented in Hollywood. Like it was amazing. Um, uh, what if? Okay, so I did not get to finish What If yet, but have you guys? Megan, I know you finished What If. Give us your thoughts.
Oh man. I wanted to like it so bad. Like so bad. But it wasn't a strong season, especially one to finish the show. And also, why are we finishing the show? It is infinite possibilities. You could have just said, for now, we're finished, and then like in a year or two, think about it. But I don't I just wish they would have done better.
So I've only seen the first two episodes of the season so far. Um, Claude, have you gotten to watch any of it?
Yeah, I've actually have managed to watch all of that one. Kind of the same feelings. There were there were parts of it that I really were hoping for more from, and also just characters that like easily could have been explored and didn't really get an episode aside from being basically a background character for a couple of them that I'm thinking of, but I won't go too far into it since you haven't seen it all. But yeah, I agree that there's just a lot that could have been done with it. There's a team name that is mentioned towards the end that, I mean, if they want to explore the same concept, they could spin off a show that's in the vein of X-Men '97, but with the multiverse. It's the direction that I would like to see them go personally, but also I just like seeing more mutants out there. So a little biased, but yeah, the it just didn't quite stick with me.
So did it like start strong and like fall off, or did it stay like kind of mid, or like how like I don't know. I like the first two
I was
episodes
say for the season or for the show as a whole, because
for
I
the
definitely
season.
the season. I mean, it was uneven. There's I think it actually builds up in strength a little towards the end. Um, a couple like yeah, right towards the end, and that it kind of like gets to where like yeah, I can definitely see where this is going and like how it can be built from there. But then the fact that that's where it ends instead is what really kind of hurts it.
Hmm.
But I definitely say there are like two really like strong episodes that I enjoy in the middle back end.
It
What
just
about you,
seems
Megan?
like it just seems like they forgot what the what if factor means. Like you said you've seen the first two episodes. So
Mhm.
the mech uh episode. How is that what if? The whole thing has been like what if something changes that changes the trajectory of everything. So What if it was Captain Carter instead of Captain America? That whole thing. But this one, they're like, here's a completely different scenario that has nothing to do with anything that's ever happened. No slight thing has been changed. And I think that's what kind of kills them with it.
Yeah, I've
And you
heard lots
pointed
of
out,
criticism of that. Go ahead, Claude.
I was gonna say you pointed out well and on the Vigilante Vibes podcast that like the order was also not the strongest.
Yeah.
Like a Mech Avengers type one sandwiched in the right spot could have been a really good palate cleanser of like let's just have a crazy bombastic episode. And it probably could have been stronger on that point too, but like the placement and what's around it could have made it better.
That's interesting. Like, I'll say this. Okay, so I watched all of What If season 1. I did not watch all of What If season 2. I did watch the Kahori episode. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. So for season 3, like I said, I only watched the first 2 episodes. I liked the first 2 because I like seeing Sam Wilson and Monica Rambeau and even the Hulk. Like I feel like the Hulk, he doesn't really get a lot of stories centering him. So for me, that was like the what if element of it to kind of like, what if these characters got to have a storyline about them? And it's kind of like, mechs and kind of almost like a Godzilla type of monster thing. And then for the second episode, I kind of liked just the wild idea of matching up Agatha all along with Eternals. Like, that's not something I would have expected to have in 2024, but I thought it was interesting. So I'll try to keep watching. I am excited to see Storm. I hear Storm's coming, but other than that, I won't get my hopes too high because I hear it wasn't very fondly received. So
I was gonna say, and some stuff might work better for you, honestly. Like everyone
Yeah.
brings their own stuff into it, but yeah, I don't know. There's to me, maybe it's just because I think of like potential too much, but it's like you were saying, seeing some of these other characters in it, it would have been cool to see them be more of their characters in it. Because like Monica's awesome, seeing her like fly through a giant kaiju with her light powers would be one thing, but I don't know. She just seemed very kind of put in the background, and then the
yeah.
biggest one that hurt me was like Moon Knight. There's a lot of
Okay.
cool what if possibilities with Moon
Like,
Knight,
I
and
knew
I
you
just
were gonna say it because like I've been sitting here stewing about it, but I didn't want to say it just in case. Like, I didn't know how far we were like gonna say who didn't get that much attention. But Moon Knight, that's something I want to flip a table over. Like, you gave me so little, and then
Was
we're
that
just like
all of it? Like
that.
in the first episode, was that it?
Yes,
We didn't do any
you
more.
want to know. Yeah, Moon Knight's not
yes,
in there.
that's it. That is it. That's it, Freddy.
Well, sorry to hear that. I mean, I have heard rumors that season 2 of Moon Knight has been greenlit. I think there's still rumors though. I don't know. Have you guys heard?
They're rumors. They're not confirmed.
Yeah. So that I think
I
there's
have
still
hopes.
like
I
it
have
hasn't
strong
been
hopes. Yeah.
canceled.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean,
Yeah, at least they
honestly,
got Oscar Isaac. Like I know he didn't get
that's
to do much,
cool.
but like I do think it's cool that they're getting the actual actors for the most part. They didn't get everybody. They didn't have Lupita Nyong'o. I was like, is that Nakia? Yes, it was Nakia. She was there
Yeah.
for a minute.
I had to wait till like someone actually said her name, and I was like, oh, I guess that's Nikita.
I was like, okay. Like I was excited to see the character and have her be on the team, even if it was like again like like you said, a lot of these characters did not get a lot to do, and that was a little disappointing. But at least they were there. Like I think the concept of them bringing the characters that we're more likely to see in the MCU, like we had Shang-Chi, we had Moon Knight, we had Nakia, we had Photon, or I guess she still hasn't, well, Monica Rambeau, um, Captain America, Sam Wilson. So it's like, that gave me hope that maybe the new Avengers team might look kind of like that. Maybe.
Yeah, I think
I
also
don't
just putting them in the public consciousness of like, okay, let's see how people react to seeing these characters on a team is a way to put out feelers like, okay, this works for y'all, this doesn't. That kind of, and just bringing more awareness to those characters always helps. Shout out to Marvel Rivals for putting a bunch of characters in the conversation for people that don't really care about those characters otherwise. It's the same vibe with What If. You can put them on screen and then look at the feedback. and hopefully we'll get more of that group of characters. Is a really solid group of characters. So if that was the intention, to get eyes on them and just have them in the conversation, then
Yeah.
solid choice. Good idea.
And thanks for mentioning Marvel Rivals. Like, I still sadly haven't gotten to play it, but I know that's been a huge
No.
hit as far as like the gaming community and Marvel fans. So like, I know Claude, you've been playing it. Megan, have you been able to play Marvel Rivals yet?
I've been trying to. I'm not a gamer at all. Oh shoot. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just unplugged all my stuff. I'm not a gamer by any means, but I tried it and I suck. But it's still
Oh no.
Yeah, I probably would suck too if I got on there. I don't even like have a console to get on there, but maybe one day.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that like I don't play shooters or things like that. Like competitive is really not my jam, but this one, I don't know what it is. It's been working for me. I'm like, I love it. But,
I'm not a team player.
no.
I can't do. I want my own thing. Like Mario is my thing. I played every Mario game.
Solo RPGs, I gotcha.
Yeah, and then you bring this one in, and I'm like, I don't trust these fools.
I have to trust someone to fulfill their role.
Yeah,
like,
but then like it's so rude of me because I'm the one bringing everyone down. Just Jeff the land shark dying over and over and over.
I didn't realize early on, sorry, this is a little tangent. I didn't realize early on there was an option to like do the practice fights against AI. So I did all my learning with people who had to deal with just the worst player on their team and me. I learned it way after the fact. I was like, well, I mean, I got better from doing that, but feel bad for everyone I dragged down during that time.
It's all right. That's how you learn. All right. Well, guys, I think it's time to start looking ahead to 2025. We've mentioned a few things here and there, but let's take turns. Let's just talk about what is the number one thing that you're looking most forward to this year. I still gotta wrap my brain around the fact that it's already 2025. Does anyone want to go first? Because I might need to think about
it. Superman.
Superman. All right.
I think if I had to like off the hip, like I think Superman's probably one for me as well. Aside from like a convention or something. That's what I really want to go to Emerald City Comic Con again. Just being in that kind of environment is very exciting. So like each year as a thing to do is really fun. But as far as like media coming out this year, it's gotta be Superman.
All right. Well, for me, I'm gonna be honest and throw a curveball at y'all. I'm most excited for Wicked Part 2.
Oh, okay. I still haven't seen Wicked yet.
Go see one.
I know.
If you can. It's out on home streaming as of like I think yesterday or the day before, as the new year or whatever. But Wicked is everything. And it is tangentially related to comics because Marvel did release a series of Oz books. So if you haven't read those, go check those out because those are pretty fun too. Scotty Young, I think, did a lot of the.
Are those on Unlimited?
The writer. They are, yes.
Okay.
So check them out.
Then I will check them out.
And but yeah, that's definitely my top thing that I'm most looking forward to. But I mean, there's so many things. Let's look at this quick list. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. These are the most anticipated movies of 2025, according to Fandango. So number one, we've got Captain America: Brave New World. Yes, definitely looking forward to that. I've got on my Falcon Winter Soldier shirt, and I'm looking forward to getting a new Captain America Sam shirt. And that's coming out next month, guys. Like, are you ready?
Yes.
That is next month. Yeah,
You threw me off with that. Didn't realize it.
Yeah, like this is his big moment. Like the Falcon Winter Soldier show I really enjoyed it. Like I know it had mixed reviews and there's a lot that I could say on the topic of Sam Wilson being the new Captain America. I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, I do have mixed feelings about it because when I've heard reporting about what this movie's gonna be about, the making of process has seemed a little bit tumultuous to say the least. But I'm hoping that they have a good finished product and that you know, I, Marvel I think generally puts their best foot forward. So I expect a good time.
So Thunderbolts isn't on this top 10
I was
right
just
here,
about to
but
say
I'm
that.
really like that's the Marvel one that I'm looking forward to the most this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Shout it
because I'm a
out.
big Winter Soldier guy. Um, or Bucky
All
is
right, yeah.
and then Yelena is just a
I'm
treat.
curious to see
So
how they do Sentry. Like I'm kind of a big Sentry fan. I'm just perplexed at him joining the MCU. We'll see.
I'm nervous for how they handle Sentry because I really don't
Yeah,
think Marvel Studios is equipped to handle an OP character without making them
yeah.
just like the friendly, not threatening guy. So I'm a little nervous.
or have them gone by the end of it.
Yeah,
That's
they're
the big move is like, oh, fly him into the sun.
Like like
yeah,
Sentry is another one of those characters who could have his own movie or his own miniseries. Like, and that could be interesting. But having him be one of many characters might be a challenge for Marvel.
I
We'll
agree.
see. All right,
I'm
I'll just read through the list real
interested to see.
quick. We got Captain America: Brave New World, #2, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, #3, Jurassic World: Rebirth, #4, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, #5, The Fantastic Four: First Steps, #6, Avatar: Fire and Ash, #7, Wicked Part 2, #8, The Accountant 2, 9, Superman, and 10, 28 Years Later. So I don't really know who came up with this list or this order. I mean, it does say it's Fandango fan picks taken from a survey
Yeah.
of over 9,000 ticket buyers.
Let me go ahead and say this is wrong.
Oh,
There
I
is
was about to say The
really,
Accountant is like a good movie and like it has fans, but it seems weird to me that The Accountant 2, like a sequel, would be above Superman.
Now, this is the first time hearing
That's
about that
me,
movie.
yeah.
yeah. And you're to mean to tell me Wicked right now, with how much excitement Wicked has online and has for
Isn't
months,
yeah.
is below Avatar, Fire and Ash, which got very
Honestly, I think this list might have been made before Wicked came out. I'm not
Ah,
sure, but that's
possible.
my feeling. But who knows? We're all entitled to have our different opinions about it for sure. And like Superman seems pretty low on the list, but
But like from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, above Superman, Wicked, Avatar,
I've
and
never seen a John Wick movie. I know they're popular.
I was about to say
Maybe I need to see
they're
them.
very popular, but
very,
yeah,
very
I
good.
could see it, but it is like a spinoff
Yeah,
that
spinoffs historically
usually
get
yeah,
that much attention. But it's
People
the
like Ana de Armas.
they do.
I don't know. Like yes, it's an interesting conversation point.
yeah.
I'm
Right? I was
definitely
about to say
not going to see all these
you
movies.
chose the best graphic because it makes you huh? Yeah. So good solid choice. It's interesting. Yeah.
All right, so we'll say bye bye to that. And yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about Superman, if you guys will indulge me. So I love Superman. Read a lot of comics, watch a lot of shows and movies. I've seen all the movies. Um, I will admit to being a little bit like reserved in my excitement for Superman. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything. I just want to. I just have to admit, like uh, I I feel Superman is a character that he's so popular and so historical that it's impossible to please everybody. And so we get engaged in these endless debates, like which Superman is better, like shorts or no shorts, like all these little things. And like, it's just like, um, we can try to disengage from it or try to like, let it stand on its own. And that's what I'm going to try to do. But, I do get tired of it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think I was more excited for Blue Beetle. Like, I kind of, I was, I really wish that people supported the Blue Beetle movie the same way that they're gonna come out for the Superman movie because I feel like that was something a little fresher, a little bit, more uh, needed. But that's it. I'm gonna be in the theaters to see Superman, and I am excited. I just kind of and I'm glad that James Gunn is going to fold Blue Beetle into the new DCU. But yeah, it's just like it's a bit of a head scratcher for me because it's like uh yeah, like the Batman has been super popular, Penguin is super popular, but now the Batman 2 has been delayed and we don't even know if it's going to fit into the DCU. I mean, it's fine. It just kind of makes me wonder, like, so this feels like a repeat of what happened with, Christian Bale's Batman. Like, that was super popular. But by the time they did Superman, they're like, let's just start a whole new universe. We're not going to have them connect anyway. And it doesn't have to connect. That's fine. But, these are just some of the reservations I have. Like, how's it all going to work out? So maybe in hindsight, I'll just be like, wow, that was a great movie. Whether it connects or not, I don't care. We'll see.
Well, the Batman 2 doesn't even have a script right now. So James Gunn made a statement a week or so ago, that nothing's getting greenlit until they have a finished script, which I really respect, because Marvel does not do that. So
Hmm.
I think it was already greenlit before, and I think they are making changes to the script, but they haven't finished it. So they're supposed to start filming this summer, so they haven't even started any of that. I think I would rather them take their time with the Batman 2 rather than throw something out there, because I really like Robert Pattinson as Batman. Battison. I really like that.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Like I would have thought that Matt Reeves would have had some ideas. I thought like he was talking about Clayface or something. I don't know. Like I think Clayface they've given that to another director maybe.
I don't think
Um,
I think that's James Gunn more with Clayface. I what I think it is they saw the success from the Penguin, and they went to go change the script to
yeah,
uh, tie those two together, which is smart, but it's unfortunate for the fans.
I thought so as well. Like the success of the Penguin and the announcement that came after it makes sense that they would kind of like redirect their plans. But yeah, it's definitely going to take some time. Um, but then on top of that, there have been announcements that there will be other Batman projects in the DCU, presumably with different actors and different directors. Just like I don't want it to be, you know, too much. Like
Yeah.
I don't want it to be in conflict with itself, like so early on. But maybe they have a plan, or maybe they're gonna like, make it make sense, or maybe it'll just be so quality, people won't care about
Oh,
the.
they'll care. Oh,
They will.
That's true.
That
That's
sounds a
true.
little too hopeful. Yeah, yeah,
I'd
people.
like to
Yeah,
see I'd like to see Battison be the DCU's Batman. I think him and David Cornsweet would work really well off each other with Batman and Superman, especially since James Gunn, what day is it? Saturday? 2 days ago, or yesterday, made a quote that he teased Batman and Superman being together. So I don't know how to
okay.
end the sentence, so I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess for me, I guess I'm just so let down because I remember the first time we got Batman and Superman together on screen with the Zack Snyder movie. It was like it was not, uh, you know, everyone's favorite movie. Um,
I
and then
liked
they
it. I don't care what y'all say. I liked it.
like it has like I didn't hate it. Like I'm not a hater of it, but I'm also like it's not my favorite either. Like um,
I'm a
I was
little bit
glad
of
they
a
introduced
hater.
Wonder Woman, but again, like I feel like Wonder Woman gets like third billing always. Like I want her to like where's the focus on not characters who aren't Batman or Superman? Like I'm sorry, it does get a little exhausting for me. Um, what about you, Claude? Any takeaways for all that?
For DC and Superman in general. I mean, I'm interested to see the vision. Creature Commandos really inspired a lot of faith on that front, for me, because some of my favorite corners of DC are like the really weird, offbeat characters. And the fact that we're setting up like a world where those type of people have existed already before we even get Superman like in the picture necessarily is a really interesting like groundwork to lay. And it gives me hope that some of my favorite characters might show up on the big screen one day, even if it's just like a weird background person. Um, because they are
Cool,
setting
cool.
up like we have had these like some of the characters in Creature Commandos. Yeah, I don't want to say too much about characters that are in it and everything, but it shows that like in the past there have already been these weird and unusual characters, and like this is a super heroic world. There is weird stuff. There are people with powers, and it yeah, it's a very different vibe than the world that's been set up like in DCEU. So I'm interested to see where they go with it. There is the possibility of like throwing too many versions of one character at fans and like general audiences not necessarily like clicking or getting into the flow of like, oh yeah, like comics, you get different writers and different interpretations of people all the time. General audiences might be a little thrown off by like, oh, wait, we just had this Batman, but that's not this Batman. So there's definitely like a possibility that it'll be a hang up for people. I mean, people find problems, so it'll happen. But I want to have some faith in the audience to get what's going on, and I want to see where the world goes before I have any judgments of like worry about it. I think we'll see how Superman lands and what kind of excitement that generates for everyone, and then we'll get to the Batman of it all at some point.
I do want to just praise the new Superman movie for the fact that I believe that um, Michael Corn Sweat is a Jewish actor, and I think that's a first for Superman, and I think that's a big deal. Superman was created by Jewish creators, Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, and so you know I think that's historic. I think that's great representation. I think it's a step in the right direction. Just wanted to mention that. And I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I just want to also talk a little bit more about Marvel's upcoming slate. Let's look at this here. At the end of this month, we've got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Look forward to that. We already talked about Captain America: Brave New World. Very excited. Daredevil Born Again, March 4th. That's very exciting. I'm a big Daredevil fan. We talked a little bit about Thunderbolts. Excited for that. Ironheart. That could be exciting too. June 24th. Fantastic Four. First Steps. I know there's a lot of buzz around that. I'm curious to see how that goes. Eyes of Wakanda. August 6th. I don't know what to expect from that, so that could be interesting. And another animated property, along with Marvel Zombies, October 3rd, some Halloween fare. And last but not least, we've got Wonder Man, the live action show on Disney Plus, starring Yahya Abdul Mateen. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. What do you guys think about this slate?
That is a wild
Take it.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a lot. Like compared to recent years, I feel like we had our dry 2020, and then they brought in the Marvel TV, and that's been pretty successful overall. And then uh, last year they were trying to slow things down a bit after like a really crazy 2023, was it 2022? So I think I think some of these projects are things that have been in the works for a while. Hopefully they're going to be you know giving us their best.
yeah, I want to say Ironheart had a really long development.
Yeah.
I am interested to see how that one pans out. I think there's a lot of opportunity for some really cool character work in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excited for that one. Does seem like the back half of the year I worry about engagement, because animated properties don't always hit that hard. I am really interested to see what Eyes of Wakanda is all about and how it fits into everything. Marvel Zombies, I'm don't care too much about that one. But like two animated properties and then like a lesser known character at the very end of the year doesn't seem like the strongest way to land. But I'm hoping Wonder Man is amazing. Like the actor, like the character. So yeah, but it does seem like I worry about it being a little soft at the end of the year.
Yeah, like I think they're definitely taking some risks here. Along with Yaya, you've got the Ben
Turn
Kingsley.
of
You know
Reverse
what?
Lattery, yeah.
Yeah, like what can you say about that? Like Ben Kingsley is an amazing actor, but his journey in the MCU has been quite wild.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
wondering how important he is to this, or if it's just like a
yeah,
fun nod. Because I'm like, is he like the reason things play out in this? It would be,
is he like a
yeah,
sidekick or is he like which is a cameo or I don't know. Like, we'll see.
yeah. I wonder how
Like
prominent
I
his
don't
role is.
know what to expect from Wonder Man. It seems like a complete like well, I don't say completely different take, but yeah, I guess they're going to lean into the Hollywood aspect of it. But like, I
That's
wonder
what I
what the
think.
superhero element will look like.
Yeah, me too. If it's gonna be one of those like, oh, we talk a lot about like, well, we get to know the character and everything, and then you get like the last episode super costume, one punch up, and then that's it. Is it gonna be that kind of thing, or I wonder how they're gonna handle his powers in general, because it's pretty powerful character with like a fairly unique power set. So I feel like they're probably gonna scale him down a lot, and but it could still be really good depending on like how that's done. And I'm wondering like what kind of enemy he's facing. Like we don't have
Yeah, I usually his
anything to go
brother, the
on.
Grim Reaper, is a good
Yeah, true,
character
true.
face, and usually Wonder Man has a lot to do with Scarlet Witch and the Avengers and Vision. So like, I don't
I
know if
feel
they're
like
going to
there's
go that
got to
route.
be a slight vision connection. Like they can't do the whole based on his brainwaves thing at this point. Like it's so late in the game for that. But I
Yeah,
feel like it has to, like we're working on that coast now. So I think
yeah,
Vision Quest is going to be over there and we're building towards like more West Coast shenanigans. Yeah, so
it would make
I
some
have
sense to
no idea
place
what
the
to
scene.
expect from that one, really.
Mhm.
It was very under the radar, kept hearing about it, and then they're like, "Oh, here's a teaser and it's out next year." So like what is going to happen in this thing?
I realize Marvel has been doing that with all of their Marvel TV shows or Marvel animation. They'll tell you like, "Oh, so this is coming," and then you won't hear a single thing about it ever again. Like Spider-Man, Your
Yep.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies. We didn't hear anything about it until like last month.
Yeah,
Heart, I wouldn't say it had a big developmental process, but they did finish it and then months later say, we're actually pushing it about a year and a half. So shout out to Dominic Thorne because that sucks. So I'm glad we're
Yeah.
finally getting that. Wonder Man makes me nervous because, like you guys said, he's so involved with Wanda and Vision, and for some reason, the MCU does not want us to remember that White Vision is running around the MCU somewhere. So I feel like they won't say anything about Vision unless it's a slight tease just to get up hype for Vision Quest.
we shall see. Yeah, like to your point about how Marvel has been, not revealing a lot about these shows. I think that's kind of a good thing. Like, I feel like Marvel and Disney overall, I think they're pretty good at like keeping a lid on things for the most part. Like, you get a few leaks here and there, but a lot of it seems to be very controlled. And, um, I think that's for the best. I think uh, when things leak a lot, you know, it can lead to a whole lot of speculation. For me, it can kind of kill the vibe of what you actually get once the thing actually comes out. People are like, when they finally get to see the thing that they've been speculating about forever, they tend to like it less. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think too much knowledge of the background process can be a real detriment. Like, yeah, the fact that we are now much more aware of when there's reshoots, people then go in looking for like, oh, I bet this was a part that they added later or things like that. Like, I think it takes you out of it a little. You're looking at it from further outside than you necessarily were supposed to be while you're consuming it.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, at this point, I don't know what can be done about that. It's just kind of have to choose to engage with it the way that you can.
Well,
Exactly.
I don't think giving a new poster here or there about a show or a reminder like, hey, this is coming out in a month, what isn't detrimental or giving away anything. It's just more
Mhm.
there you have to generate hype, and that's not what they've done with
Mm.
X-Men 97, What If, any Marvel TV show, we don't get anything until maybe a month prior.
Mhm.
The least you could do is do a promotional tour. You could drop a few posters, anything.
Yeah,
And
that is a good
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
yeah,
Like,
that
yeah, Marvel Zombies knowing more about who the main cast are, like, 'cause
we
there
do know
were early
some.
showings. Yeah, we know some, but it's like, I think early on they showed that some of the Eternals would be returning in that one, but
They,
like any kind of information, like we don't know. It's very, I mean, that one's in October, but
but
yeah,
even
it's
that one's like all we know is some of the people coming back, like Iman Vellani, Scarlet Witch, and we know it's 4 episodes long, like Wakanda Forever. That's it.
like Eyes of Wakanda.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Isaac. Sorry, yeah.
yeah.
I
I
didn't
like.
realize that one was only 4. So yeah,
Yeah, they're both
I'm
mini
just learning
series,
about it. Yeah.
and I think that's probably for the best. I don't know. I agree with you, Megan. It's definitely a fine line between you know keeping the lid on things, but also under promoting things. Like you don't want to under promote it, and then it does poorly, and then you're like, well, they only have themselves to blame because
Yeah, I was about to say it just feeds them of like, oh yeah, then this isn't that strong of a property. And it's like, well,
like
no, you got to give it its best shot to find out if it is actually
like
going to be
uh
taken.
like look at the Marvels. Like that movie was severely under promoted because it came out like right at the end of a month long
Right.
strike for
It
Hollywood.
yeah,
So
yeah. It premiered the oh God. It's like there was a day later that they were able to promote the movie. It came out the day before the strike ended. So there was no promotions whatsoever for it.
and then when
Yeah,
it
I think
did
people
poorly, everyone
underestimate
wants to
how much.
blame the movie, but like I thought it was a decent movie and
It was
a really
fun.
good movie. Like so like it's unfortunate that there's so many different factors that go into the success of these shows. Like even X Men '97, as popular as it was in our circle, it was not like
Yeah,
the most viewed Disney Plus project last year. Last I looked, like I mean, it being animated, it's going to struggle more than like the live action stuff.
which is such a
It was
shame
kind of a
because,
surprise to me that
oh,
more people watched Echo than X Men. I'm like, I love them both, but like it's X Men, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, right. It's the whole thing with like adult animated content is like such an uphill struggle, which I think is a real shame because you could have a really strong animated universe like covering comic events and everything like that. And it would come out faster. You could keep the same actors longer. There's so many strengths to it, but a lot of people just will not give it a fair shake, unfortunately.
All right, well let's wrap this up, and I want to ask you guys, uh, if you could um, project into 2026 and greenlight any projects
Oh no.
that you want to have that's comic book related on the screen, on the big screen or the small screen, what would you want to see?
Moon Knight season 2 or a Midnight Suns movie.
Cool, cool. All right, I
Ah,
can dig
that's
it.
so good. Yeah, yeah, I like that a lot.
Mhm.
Get us Werewolf by Night back in the mix.
Yes.
Yeah,
Put him up there on screen with Oscar Isaac. I feel like the chemistry there would be so fun.
bring back Ghost Rider. I'm a Ghost Rider diehard.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, this is a tough question though. I want them to like green light. It would be too early to have something made in 2026. Let's
Just
in
fantasy.
2026, let's get like a solid announcement for something on the really mystical side of DC. Let's get like a Blue Devil or like a Shadow Pact
Zatanna.
movie. Let's get Zatanna. Let's announce Zatanna, give us a casting in 2026 at least. Tell us that it's like it's coming. I mean, that would be great by the end of this year. But yeah, I really want to see them play with that side of things. They're already like dipping into it in Creature Commandos, but give us a really good live action, either like horror adjacent or just magical glimpse at the DCU. So that's what I want. So if I had to be really picky, I would say give me something with Blue Devil in it. The the hope beyond hope. That's where I am. Or Etrigan. I'll take either of the demons. Let's
See, I was gonna say, give me something with Blue Beetle in it. I mean, there is like an animated series that's been talked about that should be coming out eventually. So I won't go with that because I expect that to come out sooner or later. I'm gonna say, if I could pick any random thing to magically appear in 2026, I would like to see. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, I liked your idea, Megan, about the Midnight Suns. I want to see Ghost Rider come back on the screen because every time he's been on the screen, it's been a good time in my opinion. I like the Nick Cage movies. I liked him on Agents of Shield. So, and I like the comics. So, yeah, bring back Ghost Rider.
I agree. I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan.
Nice. All right, guys. Let me take this picture down, and let me give you guys a big thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to having more comic book clubs in 2025, and you guys are welcome anytime. Thank you to everyone who's listened so far. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe. All your engagement really helps us grow. And yeah, if you guys want to share your social media one more time, Megan.
You can find me anywhere with Vigilante Vibes Podcast, or just make it easy and go to www.vigilantevibes.com.
Nice. Claude?
I am Claude, aka Curly Insane Guy _. You can find me on Threads and to a much lesser extent, Instagram. I am going to be starting to post things on my YouTube this year, allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, it's the plan. But that, yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. Megan, it was great meeting you. I've been following your social media and watching your videos for a long time, so this is definitely cool to have chat.
Thank you.
And yeah, Freddy, thank you for hosting. You're incredible as always.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again for being here. You guys are so much fun to talk to. Hope we can do this again sometime. I don't have a exact plan for the next one, but leave your ideas in the comments. Let us know what you guys want to talk about. Everyone is welcome. We usually do this on a Saturday morning. And I'm sure there'll be tons of great comics and movies and shows to discuss in the days to come. All right, guys. Until next time, Excelsior. Bye.